All right, Mateo, big win over the Hawks. Break it down for us, bro.
Pretty good win tonight, man. It was 107-99. Against a team like the Hawks, you'd hope that we would just blow them out, let AD and LeBron rest the fourth quarter. But it's the end of a 7-game road trip, so I'm just happy they got the win, and they ended up going 5-2 on this road trip. So not a bad record. We easily could have gone undefeated, man. We lose by like 1 point against the Sixers, and our legs just die in the second half against the Pistons. That's how close we were to going undefeated on a 7-game road trip, man. Kind of testament to how talented we are. But we're always
Hell
going to
yeah.
get a really good effort out of the other team because we're the champs and they want to assert themselves over us. So I'm happy that we ended this trip with a 5-2 record. So I'll just talk about what happened during the game a bit. So Lakers have pretty much control over the whole first half, but Atlanta stayed close. It didn't really feel like a big lead, and it wasn't. We never got it like up to 10 or anything. It was just like a couple possessions, but yeah, so we kept it close in the first half. And then in the third quarter, Trae Young started getting a really friendly whistle. And that's kind of what got Atlanta back in this game. They even got the lead back. They ended up the third quarter up a couple points. Um, yeah, man. I'd been hearing recently that Trae Young, he's kind of been annoying people in the league because people are complaining that he's been foul hunting and stuff. And I hadn't watched Atlanta, admittedly, before this game this year. And then I definitely saw it tonight, man. There were certain plays where he was clearly just not trying to score or make a basketball play, but hunting for a foul. And hey, stars do that, but you hate to see when the refs just keep rewarding it. And that's what was happening in the third quarter. Not like guys on the Lakers don't do it, but you'd hope that most of the time they try to keep the spirit of the game intact and, play ball as opposed to just trying to get a foul and get to the line because no one wants to see that shit, man. We've seen Harden do it for a decade now, and it gets boring. Yeah, so that kind of got the Hawks back into it. They're getting our guys in foul trouble. Dennis Schroeder and Caruso were doing a pretty good job on Trae Young. He ended up finishing like 7 of 15, 25 points, but most of that was at the line. He had like 10 made free throws on 11 shots. So getting our guys in foul trouble kind of let Trae go off, and give some credit to Trae. He was reading our defense pretty well. When we would kind of play off him to not risk getting in more foul trouble, he would lob it up to Capella. So he was reading the defense pretty well. Props to him on that. But fourth quarter comes, and we ended up building a bit of a lead. So it's like coming down to 3 minutes left into the game. We get a 10-point lead or so, and it's like, all right, cool, smooth sailing. And then what kind of happened was what happened in that Boston game. We get this lead, and then in no time, it's just evaporated. So then I was like, fuck. It was a 10-point lead, and then it all of a sudden became a 2-point game just because, some fouls, some quick threes, and then all of a sudden Atlanta was within 2 points and they had all the momentum. So that was when it was like, okay, guys, are we actually going to lock down? Are we going to get some stops? What are we going to do here?
All right.
And so what happened was they did, man. LeBron got a huge three. AD was getting pressured on the strong side, but he was able to, kind of drive in and get a floater when we really needed one. And this game was won with big rebounds and with stops. So LeBron makes a couple big threes, and basically the ball's in Atlanta's hands. So Trae Young gets it to Clint Capella on the inside, and I didn't really see a clear shot. It could have been a foul, but refs tend to swallow their whistle at the end of games on big plays like that. So LeBron actually gets a block on Clint Capella as he's rising up. And then they shovel it to the other end, and he gets another, he gets like a transition layup. So we're up like, I don't know, 5. And then Hawks get the ball back. Dennis Schroeder steals it. So we get the ball again, and then we get another score. No, Schroeder steals it, and then LeBron shoots up, and then Caruso gets a big rebound. And basically, the game got out of reach. So we won it with big shots, and we won it with rebounds and defense, man. That was really great to see.
I saw on Twitter people were raving about Schroeder's defense this game.
Yeah, Schroeder, he's been having his struggles lately, but he kind of had a pretty decent offensive game. He was like 6 of 10 from the field, 16 points. And
Nice.
he had some really good first half defense on Trae. Trae really couldn't get anything going in that first half, man. So It's always good to have a guy who's going to bust his ass on defense, even if his offense isn't totally clicking. And we got a couple guys like that. Like Kuzma's really turning into one of those guys. And it's great to see a good young guy like Schroeder turning into that too.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, man. So
So next we have the Nuggets, yeah?
yeah, we do. That'll be a pretty. I'm guessing it's gonna be a pretty good game, man. They got us on Thursday. That's usually the days where they want to have their big matchups. So we'll get Jokic, who's been getting a lot of MVP buzz lately, and deservedly so. He's making big plays and he's like racking up mad stats right now. Um, and so we're gonna have to bring our A game. We're gonna have to play hard 48 minutes, and we haven't been in a situation. Maybe that Celtics game, but we haven't had to play hard every minute of the game. So I think against Denver, we're going to get a test of that. We'll see how they stack up. Because
And like Denver has the whole altitude thing, but altitude for like all-stars is just kind of like it doesn't really matter, right? Like it really only affects probably lesser players.
sometimes it can, yeah. I mean, it
You think
depends on
so?
how good a shape you're in. But they're actually coming down to LA, so we got a 5 game homestand.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool, cool. That's
So
good. That's good. Okay.
yeah, but also we've been bad at home, as we've talked about on the show. We're like 4-4 at home.
That is
So
true.
these dudes
Yeah.
better show up, man.
You said that Jamal Murray likes to kind of go off on us sometimes too, so
Yeah,
hopefully he
Murray's
doesn't
been
do
up
that.
and down again, man. He has that crazy bubble, and then he just hasn't looked like a superstar since then. So who knows? Maybe it'll be against us, but we'll see if we can hold him back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and we're gonna do kind of a special little podcast for the Nuggets game. We'll probably have a guest, and yeah, we'll mix it up a bit. So, any final thoughts, bro?
Yeah, what I kind of liked about this was I saw more things that I liked than things that I didn't like. Like I kind of tally up, like oh, bad rebounding, bad 3-point shooting, whatever. Last 3 or 4 games or so, the dislikes have outweighed the likes. But this time, I think we had more. We got a pretty decent game from AD, 10 of 14 from the field. Not like a dominant game, but he was able to get in the paint and get some mid-range shots going.
That's
Not
pretty
totally
accurate.
making.
Yeah, 10 of
Yeah,
14. That's good.
10 of 14 is good. And early in the game, he was going for like these floaters in the paint, and I'm like, okay, cool. They're going in. So as long as he gets his shooting rhythm back, that's when he gets really deadly, man. So it was a good game for his jumper. And like
Nice.
we said, Schroeder was good. LeBron came up with some big clutch threes at the end. Cruz had a big rebound. We kept Trae in check. The only thing, I guess we just had a rough game from three again, 7 of 23, 30%. So not good there, but hey, that's going to be a hot and cold thing. So it was a good win, man. We got a solid win in Atlanta and capped the road trip off good.
Sounds great, brother. Thanks again for joining me. Yeah, have a great one.
Yeah, looking forward to that Nuggets day, man. Cheers.